Alien girls can't all be this sexy. Right? I said, and they closed in on me. The emergency klaxons screamed through the cockpit as Marcus Rodriguez fought to control his spiraling cargo vessel. The magnetic storm had come out of nowhere, frying his navigation systems and sending him careening toward an uncharted planet. His dark hair was matted with sweat as he gripped the manual controls, muscles straining against the G-forces. "Come on, baby, just a little longer," he muttered through gritted teeth, watching the purple-tinged atmosphere rush up to meet him. The ship groaned in protest before the inevitable impact sent him into darkness. Marcus awoke to find his ship half buried in crystalline sand that sparkled like crushed diamonds. His body ached, but nothing seemed broken. The emergency beacon pulsed steadily, someone would find him eventually. He just hadn't expected that someone to arrive within hours. 3 figures appeared on the horizon, silhouetted against Zirion 7's triple sunset. As they drew closer, Marcus's jaw dropped. They were women, alien women, but nothing like the grotesque creatures from old Earth horror films. They were breathtaking. The first stood tall and elegant, her skin a rich purple that seemed to shimmer in the fading light. Long silver hair cascaded down her back like liquid mercury. The second had azure skin that reminded him of Earth's deepest oceans, with patterns that glowed softly like bioluminescent coral. The third possessed skin of the palest green, like new spring leaves, with eyes that seemed to shift between gold and amber. A human male, the purple one breathed, her voice melodious despite the slight electronic tinge of a universal translator. The rumors were true. Marcus scrambled backward, hitting the hull of his ship. "Stay back. I'm armed." He wasn't, but they didn't need to know that. The blue one laughed, a sound like wind chimes. "Armed with what?" "That charming Earth accent." "We mean no harm," the green one added, raising her hands peacefully. "We detected your distress signal. Human males are rare in this sector." "Legendary, actually," the purple one corrected, taking a step closer. Her movements were fluid, hypnotic. "I'm Valera of the Zenthari. These are my companions, Kira of Altair and Zephia of Verdania." Marcus's heart raced, but not entirely from fear anymore. The way they looked at him, with curiosity, fascination, and something else he couldn't quite place, made his pulse quicken for different reasons entirely. Valera knelt beside Marcus, her movements graceful as flowing water. Up close, he could see her eyes were like amethysts, deep and multifaceted. She reached into a crystalline pouch at her hip, withdrawing several glowing stones that hummed with energy. "You're injured," she said softly, her fingers hovering inches from a gash on his forehead he hadn't even noticed. "May I?" Marcus nodded, mesmerized. Her touch was electric, literally. Tiny sparks of healing energy danced from her fingertips as she pressed the stones against his skin. The pain evaporated instantly, replaced by a warm tingling sensation that spread through his entire body. "Your species is fascinating," Valera murmured, her face inches from his as she worked. Her breath smelled like cinnamon and starlight. "We've heard stories about human males, your passion, your capacity for love across species barriers. Many thought it was myth. We're real enough," Marcus managed, his voice rougher than intended. Her proximity was intoxicating. "Though I've never met anyone quite like you either." She smiled, revealing perfect pearl-white teeth. The Zenthari believe in energy exchange, that healing comes through connection. Her hand lingered on his cheek after the wound closed. "I can feel your essence. It's vibrant." "Is that your professional medical opinion?" he asked, attempting humor to mask his growing attraction. "Perhaps something more personal," she admitted, her purple skin darkening to a deeper shade. Was she blushing? Her fingers traced down his jaw, studying his features. "Your bone structure is quite pleasing. Strong, yet refined." The moment stretched between them, charged with possibility. Marcus found himself leaning closer, drawn by some invisible force. Valera's lips parted slightly, and he noticed they had a subtle shimmer, like stardust. "Valera," Kira called out, her tone amused. "Don't monopolize our guest. He needs sustenance too." Valera pulled back reluctantly, her hand sliding away from his face with obvious reluctance. "Of course. But Marcus." She looked back at him with smoldering eyes. "We're not finished with our healing session." The promise in her voice made his skin flush hot. He was in trouble, the best kind of trouble. These weren't just any alien women. They were gorgeous, intelligent, and clearly interested. His crash landing might have been the luckiest disaster of his life. Kira approached with a container of what looked like luminescent fruit, her blue skin seeming to pulse with its own inner light as the evening darkened. She moved with a dancer's grace, each step deliberate and sensual. Her clothing, if it could be called that, was a flowing material that seemed to be made of condensed starlight, leaving little to imagination. "Hungry?" she asked, settling beside him with feline fluidity. Her bioluminescent markings created mesmerizing patterns across her skin, like an ever-shifting constellation map. Marcus accepted a piece of the glowing fruit. It burst on his tongue with flavors he couldn't describe, sweet and tangy, with hints of something utterly alien yet delicious. "This is incredible. Everything on Altair is designed for pleasure," Kira said, watching his lips as he ate. "We believe life is too short for anything less than bliss." She took a piece herself, biting into it slowly, deliberately. A drop of juice traced down her chin, and she caught it with one finger, then slowly licked it clean while maintaining eye contact. "You're trying to seduce me," Marcus said, not a question but a statement. "Is it working?" she countered with a mischievous smile. "Human males are said to appreciate directness. Though we also have our traditions." She stood suddenly, extending her hand. "Dance with me?" "I don't know your dances." "I'll teach you." She pulled him to his feet with surprising strength. The mating dance of Altair is about synchronization, finding rhythm with another being. She positioned his hands on her waist, her skin warm and silky beneath his palms. Her own hands rested on his shoulders as she began to move, her body undulating in ways that defied human anatomy yet remained utterly hypnotic. "Follow my lead," she whispered, pressing closer. "Feel the rhythm in my heartbeat." She guided his hand to her chest, where he felt a double pulse, quick and strong. "Two hearts," she explained. "Twice the capacity for passion." They moved together under the alien stars, their bodies finding harmony. Her bioluminescent markings brightened with each touch, creating a light show across her skin. Marcus found himself lost in the movement, in her exotic beauty, in the way she seemed to glow brighter when he pulled her closer. "You learn quickly," she breathed against his ear. "I wonder what else you might excel at." She tilted her face up, lips parting in invitation. Marcus leaned down, drawn like a moth to her luminous flame. Their lips were millimeters apart when... "Am I interrupting something?" Zephia's amused voice broke the spell. Zephia stood by Marcus's damaged ship, her green-tinted skin seeming to absorb and reflect the moonlight. Her eyes shifted from gold to amber as she smiled knowingly. "I've been analyzing your vessel. The damage is significant but reparable. Care to help?" Marcus reluctantly pulled away from Kira, who pouted beautifully. Inside the cramped engineering compartment, Zephia had already removed several panels. The space forced them to work in close proximity, their bodies brushing constantly as they maneuvered around each other. "Hand me that plasma coupler," she said, pointing to a tool just out of her reach. As Marcus stretched to get it, she pressed against his back, her breath warm on his neck. "Verdanians are engineers by nature. We appreciate how things fit together." Her hands covered his as she showed him how to reconnect a crucial component. "Perfect," she whispered, and he wasn't sure if she meant the repair or their position. Her skin had a subtle texture, like silk over steel, and she smelled of ozone and wildflowers. "You're all trying to seduce me," Marcus said, turning to face her in the confined space, their bodies mere inches apart. We're not trying, Zephyr corrected, her color-shifting eyes hypnotic. We're succeeding. But there's something you should know. She glanced toward where Valera and Kira waited outside. We didn't find you by accident. We've been searching for a human male. Why? His voice was hoarse. Our three species formed an alliance generations ago. We share everything, resources, knowledge, partners. But human males, you're special. Your genetic compatibility with multiple species, your emotional capacity, your legendary stamina. She traced a finger down his chest. We've been looking for someone like you. All three of you want. Yes, Valera said from the doorway, Kira beside her. All three of us want you, Marcus. The question is, how do you choose? Marcus looked between them, Valera's regal purple beauty, Kira's luminous blue allure, Zephyr's shifting green mystique. His heart raced as he realized the impossible situation. I can't. You're all. I feel something with each of you. Then don't choose, Kira suggested, moving closer. On our worlds, Valera explained, polyamorous bonds are not just accepted, they're celebrated. Love isn't limited to pairs. The three women surrounded Marcus in the repaired ship's common area, each radiating their unique beauty and desire. The air crackled with tension and possibility. You want me to be with, all of you? Marcus asked, his voice thick with disbelief and growing excitement. The bond of four is sacred among our allied worlds, Zephyr explained, her eyes now a deep gold. One male, three females, a perfect balance. It's been generations since such a bond included a human. Valera approached first, cupping his face gently. With me, you'd know the depth of Zenthri passion, we love with our very souls. She kissed him softly, her lips sending those electric tingles through his entire body. It was tender yet intense, promising depths of emotion he'd never experienced. Kira came next, her bioluminescent markings pulsing rapidly. With me, you'd know Altarian pleasure, we live for joy and sensation. Her kiss was playful yet sensual, her dual heartbeats racing against his chest. She tasted of starlight and adventure, her lips moving against his with practiced expertise that left him breathless. Finally, Zephyr drew him close. With me, you'd know Verdanian devotion, we bond for eternity. Her kiss was deep and possessive, her changing eyes reflecting his own desire back at him. When she pulled away, all three stood before him, waiting. But together, Valera said, taking his right hand. You'd know completeness, Kira added, taking his left. A love unlike anything in the galaxy, Zephyr finished, placing her hand over his heart. Marcus looked at each extraordinary woman, each beautiful, intelligent, and offering something unique. The logical part of his brain said this was insane. But his heart, soul, and every fiber of his being sang with rightness. Yes, he said simply. Yes to all of you. Their joy was radiant, Valera's skin shimmered, Kira lit up like a constellation, and Zephyr's eyes became rainbow prisms. They embraced him together, their different scents and energies mingling into something intoxicating and perfect. Then it settled, Valera said against his lips. Marcus Rodriguez, you are ours. And we are yours, Kira added, her hands tangling in his hair. Forever, Zephyr sealed the promise with another kiss. 6 months later, Marcus stood at the helm of a new ship, a gift from his three wives' worlds. Valera navigated while Kira managed communications and Zephyr kept the engines running. They explored the galaxy together, their unusual family drawing stares at every spaceport. But Marcus didn't care what others thought. He'd found something most humans never did, perfect love, multiplied by 3. As his wives gathered around him to watch a nebula birth new stars, he smiled. Sometimes the best disasters led to the most beautiful destinies.